So I've recently purchased a cursed conversion cylinder for my 1858 New Model Army Uberti. Yes, I realize it's a stainless steel conversion cylinder and my gun is the standard blued version, but the price was right and it fits really well. But what I want to do now, because I was able to get the one with the loading gate, is I need to make a modification to my gun and cut out a loading port in the frame. So that's what I'm going to be filming today. So to aid in cutting this loading port, I downloaded the Remington porting instructions from the Cursed website, and they were very clear about the process and how long it takes. Excellent set of instructions. This is what the conversion cylinder looks like out of the gun, and I'm going to get started. So part of the instructions from the Cursed folks was to completely dismantle the gun, strip it right down to the frame, then using duct tape, or in my case masking tape, protect the frame itself except the area you're going to be doing the cutting. So I'm going to start cutting shortly. So I've started the cutting and making decent progress. The cutting tool I'm using, in the instructions from our friends at Cursed, they recommend the Dremel. However, I have a zip tool with a flexible extension so that I can use that for the cutting purposes. And it functions very much the same as a Dremel tool. I'm going to try and show you sort of what I'm doing here. So what they tell you in the instructions is to just a light backward and forward motion with the grinding tool. So just a light backward and forward motion with the grinding tool as you cut the slot. The other thing that they say very clearly is that you need to check from time to time by inserting the conversion cylinder to see sort of where you're at. So you can see I've got the cylinder back in now and just checking for fit. You can see we've made some good progress, but we still got a fair ways to go. So we can go around this way, and you can, let's see if we can get anything in from this side. So that's work progress for the last, I don't know, 20 minutes. So I've successfully cut and tested the port, and now I'm getting ready to reassemble the gun and just do a little cleaning before I reassemble. So the Revolver is fully assembled. I've put in the cylinders and tested everything. Everything looks fine. So the only thing left to do now is to re-blue this piece here. So I have some cold bluing, but unfortunately I need some polishing sandpaper that I don't have. So I'm going to come back to this later on this afternoon. Thank you. We'll talk to you later. Okay, per the Cursed instructions, I have just finished polishing the loading port that I cut out with 400 grit sandpaper, and now I'm going to touch it up with some steel wool, and then I'll be ready to do the cold bluing. So here's what I'm using for cold bluing. It's what I found locally at the Canadian Tire store, local hardware store, and I've used it once before on the cylinder that came with this gun originally, and did a decent job. So basically it's you clean it with a metal cleaner, and then you wipe it down and rinse it, and then you apply the gun blue. You wait a couple of 3 minutes and you rinse it, and you apply the gun blue again, and voila, you're done. So we'll see what it looks like when I'm done. So this is the second coat of bluing. I have to wait 2 or 3 minutes, then go in and buff lightly with a steel wool, and that should be that. I'll be back to you shortly. All right, so job is done. Everything's been reassembled and tested and checked. And I'm just about to open up the gate. We can see that the gate works, everything lines up. So I'm going to bring her back on half cock. Open up the gate again. And we can see that the shell hole lines up. And I will put a shell in just to demonstrate. And voila, we are good to go. There you go. And that's all she wrote.